Hey everybody, this is Dust for Dusted on Gaming. Just a friendly reminder, if you're new to the channel, please consider giving us a like button and subscribe if you like what you're seeing. Alright, so today we're going to be doing some more RPTQ testing. We did a slightly different version than the one we played last time. The one we played last time, I believe, was this list, where slight differences in the list. There's one less Snapcaster Mage and a few more cantrips in this particular version. Also, the version we're going to be playing today doesn't excuse the Tassiger for a 4th Kermag Angler. There's some slight differences in the sideboard that we'll get into as we're looking at the list. So, I wanted to try out a version. I see a lot of versions with 3 Snapcaster Mages, 4 Kermag Anglers, obviously Snapcaster in a deck that is doing a lot of things off of 1 mana. Sometimes 3 and 4 mana can be a lot for the deck. I mean, oftentimes you're going to hit it between all your cantrips, but sometimes holding up 3 and 4 mana a turn cycle instead of being able to, use your cantrips to start, getting velocity towards your, your next Death Shadow or your next Kermag Angler. Sometimes that can be a real drawback, especially with a deck that's trying to be more aggressive than defensive. So, cutting back to 3 Snapcaster Mages makes some sense. I mean, there are some games where you have to play the control role, but, cutting back to 3 makes a lot of sense. 4th Kermag Angler over Tassiger. This is power versus speed in some regards. It's a little bit easier to play Tassiger on turn 2, but it does, the 4-5 is relevant in terms of, like, sometimes taking an extra turn to kill your opponent, which, when you're trying to maximize your disruption and kill your opponent as quickly as possible, can be a liability. So to facilitate that, this particular version plays a few more cantrips to fill up your graveyard. You have 3 Thoughtscour, 3 Serum Visions, 2 Faithless Looting, in addition to your Baubles and your Street Race. So you're going to see a lot of cards in this deck, but you're also going to waste some time churning through the deck a little bit more. You still have your 6 discard spells, 4 Thoughtseize, 2 Inquisition. Another turn that was made to get the Serum Visions in the deck is there's only 2 Lightning Bolts and 2 Fatal Pushes, as opposed to the version we were running last time, which had 3 Bolts and 2 Pushes. And then you have 2 copies of Dismember still. Dismember is kind of a flexible card in terms of a removal spell. Allows you to grow your Death Shadows if you have one in play. Allows you to have a turn 1 removal spell at the cost of 4 life. So Dismember is kind of a pretty efficient removal spell in terms of being able to remove bigger threats, but does come with some drawbacks in certain matchups. And then beyond that, you still have the 2 TBR, the 17 lands, the 10 fetch lands, 5 Shockland combination, and then Island and Swamp. Let's fix the land base a little bit because I get tired of looking at the random lands that Moto decides to select for you. Island. And then the sideboard is where things get a little bit weird. So this particular version doesn't run 2 Liliana, doesn't run 2 Anger of the Gods. Instead, it picks up a little bit more utility in terms of artifact decks. You have a couple copies of Abrade, which function as removal spells in certain matchups, but also gives you more outs to the artifact-based decks, such as things within Staring Bridge, or against things like Affinity or Tron. Also gives you more outs against the... crap, what's the name of the card? The artifact-based green deck. I'll remember it here in a second. I seem to have brain farts a lot with this stuff anymore. Kolaghan's Command, similarly, it's a grindy card which comes in against a lot of different matchups. But the thing about Kolaghan's Command is very mana intensive in a deck that's trying to operate so low to the ground. So that's why when Death Shadow first came out, a lot of people were trying to jam 2 Kolaghan's Commands into their Grixis decks, and a lot of decks have gone away from that. I mean, obviously some of that's due to Ben Friedman's versions of the deck that have the 2-teamer Battle Rages main, and they're more... What's up, Issa? How you doing? They're a bit more of a grindy element, and they changed it for more of a tempo combo element. So we'll see how this one Kolaghan's Command feels in the sideboard, as opposed to Anger of the Gods. So list is still running the 2 Young Pyromancers to kind of sidestep Graveyard Hate in some of the post-board matchups and have another threat against control decks. Grim is another answer to some of those creature-based decks. So we'll see with the lack of... there's a couple things I'm missing in this list. I'm missing the Dread Boars and I'm missing the Anger of the Gods. We'll see how that plays out in this league. Beyond that, it's pretty much about it. I mean, you have access to quite a bit of spot removal with Grim, a couple of Abrades, Kolaghan's Command over here. But there's no Collective Brutality, there's no Dreadbore, there's no Anger of the Gods. So there's a lot of, like, little things I don't necessarily like about the list, but the main thing I'm interested in trying is seeing how these extra cantrips and, like, shaving on a Snapcaster Mage feels. So I wanted to give another version a test before I, like, just jump head into testing the list that I'd already kind of been starting to kind of focus in on a little bit. I don't want to get tunnel vision like I did with Burn, and I honestly think that's been holding back my performance with Burn a little bit, so see how this version goes. Good morning, Alani. How are you? Alanal, sorry. Fortunately, for the next several days, I kind of have to set things to the side, and won't be too much interesting content. It's just going to be me jamming a bunch of Grixis, Death Shadow, and Burn, and so I'm doing alright. Doing a little bit of RPTQ prep here, still debating between 2 decks. I'm most likely settled on Grixis, Death Shadow, but Burn can still work its way into the equation, potentially. Sounds a little weird. Especially, I guess we're on the draw, so that makes it a little less annoying. But, oh, Valakut, that's going to be rough. Alright, so they are a Teamer Escape Shift. Should have played my Bobble there. Yeah, it was definitely a keep. I definitely misplayed, though, not playing my Bobble. Actually, I should wait till after they play their thing here. So we're going to wait to crack this Bobble until after they crack their fetch it. Okay, well, when it made... I just screwed up the timing. Okay, they have Crumble to Dust in the main deck? That's kind of scary. I didn't gain any information there. That was... Sequencing was a bit screwy there. Alright, Street Race, a nice one. In case they drew like a Lightning Bolt. thing we'd really love to draw is another blue source here. Yeah, Cryptic Commanding in a all colors deck is quite entertaining. Morning, Jan. How are you? Yeah, if I had one more land, we'd be in fantastic shape, but now if our opponent has anything relevant here, we could get hit. Elder is not really relevant here. Alright, so we're up against Valakut nonsense. Stand Full Stroke, Stubborn Denial. Should probably look up any of these lists. We played against one the other day with Burn. So Dispels will probably come in them, Obstinate Balos. Beyond that, they don't really have a ton for this matchup. Wow. Opponent, this particular version had 4 Wargate and 4 Bring to Light. That's kind of ballsy. Yeah. Most of the versions I've tried have been running 1 Tassiger, 3 Gurmag. I figure I'd give this version a run. Technically, Liliana's good against control, but they're more of a hybrid deck. So I think I just like board out the Fatal Pushes and just kind of see how they sideboard. Once again, there'd be some consideration for like Young Pyromancer here, but I think we're just going to do a minimal amount of sideboarding and submit. It's Jan, it's a power versus speed thing. Tassiger sometimes comes down a turn earlier, but the 4 power closes the game at a lot slower speed. So So our opponent looks like they have a style of transformational sideboard here. So which card do we actually care about? Everything they have is a 3-drop. Yeah, I'm not really sure why you... I guess you go with Discord Scavenger if you don't really want to use mana to Let's not... Yeah. I'm not gonna, like, question their choices. I'm sure they have a reason why they went with Scavenger over Ooze. So, I think the real choices are either Worldly Council or Is a Charm or Tireless Tracker. Like, I'm not really sure I care about Is a Charm too terribly much. Yeah, I think Tracker, it's either Tracker or try to screw them on lands, and I think it's probably just Tracker. Because the other cards we can kind of power through here. Is a Charm could potentially be annoying. Like, it restricts like when we can play Death Shadow exactly. See, I doubt this will draw out as a Charm, but Lord only knows. Millar Swamp, which is relevant. So we could go to 12 here. Not really worth playing Death Shadow right now. Looks like they're just going to play Worldly Council here. Yep. Did they show us white last game? This one they showed us. They are really pushing their deck then. Is it possible they're not Scape Shift? Like they're just some type of random 5-color control, like mid-range nonsense? Is this, Yep, Deathcord Scavenger, sure. So unfortunately only having access to 2 black restricts us this turn. So we know 2 of the 4 cards in their hand. How much do we care about... Still think we Thoughtseize them this turn. So our opponents seem to care about Thoughtseize by the fact that they ate it with a Scavenger. Alright, Supreme Will, Eternal Witness, and Is it Charm? I think we just take Ewit here. Like, they can't cast Cryptic next turn, they can't... Supreme Will could be dicey, but just play the Shock land and then Death Shadow and they can't Supreme Will it. Do we even have anything left to fetch? One more Watery Grave, I guess. So we're playing into a Damnation here, but I don't think we're being a Damnation anyway. So bring the light, Jan. Bring the light. Damnation, Wrath of God, whatever their chosen... Who knows? They were playing all 5 colors, which is... if they were Scapeshift guys, they were a Bring the Light deck. And given the fact that we saw Crumble to Dust in their main deck, they're a Bring the Light deck. It's highly unusual for the for a Scapeshift deck, though, to go all 5 colors. That's really ambitious. Usually they're base teamer with either the white splash or the black splash, not both. There's not really a reason to play both colors. It necessarily spreads your color base then. This hand's okay. We're really missing a, yeah. No one ever said the deck made a ton of sense, Jan. I like the deck on, like, a fun level, but in terms of competitive level, the deck's terrible. Like, it's even worse than Red-Green Scapeshift, and we all know what my opinion of that deck is. Oh. Okay, so we're playing a graveyard deck. So now we're going to regret, we're going to regret not having access to, whatchamacallit here? So the only card here that does anything is Bedlam Reveler. We'll just take Bedlam Reveler. I mean, yeah, they have some cantrips here, but it's really kind of hard to... I guess they can get back Phoenix this turn, huh? We have a very slow grind to get to Gurmag Angler here. I don't think we really counter Tormenting Voice anyway. They play Tormenting Voice here, we're definitely countering it. We gotta counter this to avoid them 3-spelling us this turn. Why didn't they play Lava Spike? Okay. I learn not to ask after a while. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Grab. Steam Vent's tapped here. Actually, that was dumb. I should have gotten this untapped. That way I could have Snap, Stubborn Denial. I still think I gotta get Fish into play, huh? Even if I don't have access to that Stubborn Denial now. I sense I'm compounding my stupidity here. Yep. I don't think they're gonna be able to... They might be able to double spell, triple spell here. Alright. And they can maximize velocity or Gurmag Angler. Delightful. Yep. That's where this deck gets annoying. So we Gurmag, hit them for 5. Dismember one of their dudes and hope to get a little bit lucky here. Sure. And we're dead. Alright. I made some mistakes in that game, but I don't think in the end they actually mattered. So, Leyline's coming in. Let's take a look at this nonsense. They typically have Shrines, Blood Moons, a little bit of Graveyard Hate. Depends on which exact version they're on, I guess. But definitely want to bring in that. We want to bring in the Abrades. There are some lists that are playing it. It's just a lot of the, like, Leyline and Rest in Peace are more permanent answers, whereas Ravenous Trap, Tormod's Crypt, Relic, they're a little more temporary solution. So you have to be able to pressure your opponent in addition to whatever else is going on. So Fatal Push is dubious. It depends on if they have Swift Spear or not. Probably want to cut a little bit of our life gain or life loss situations here, because they are, at their heart, they're a burn deck. So yeah, I'm not saying there aren't upsides. I'm just saying that's the reason why things are played that are played. Serum Visions, I guess. It's probably the worst of the cantrips. Try it like that. This hand is very debatable. It doesn't have Graveyard Heat, but I think it's good enough that we'll keep it, but we could definitely mulligan to a ley line. Just gotta be kind of conservative with our health total a little bit. Flame Jab. Let's take their enabler. I mean, that's something to work towards, I guess. Play this out, see if we feel like, fortunately, we now showed them we have Leyline in the Void. I'm gonna just play out Blood Crypt tapped and pass here. Being a Death Shadow feels bad. Getting that Leyline out of the way is kind of nice, though. Sure. Alright, so they are running Swift Spear. That's quite the turn. So they're drawing a mountain. Unfortunately, we haven't drawn a threat problem here, so we know we're gonna get Arc Lighted next turn if we don't do anything. Flame Jab is an annoyance. So right now their hand is Arclight, Flame Jab, Mountain. So they'd have to draw... Huh. No, 1, 2, 3, 4. They're really soon... But we didn't know that we were going to draw the 4th land in time, Jan. So we can't make the play presuming we're going to draw a land. The only question is now is, do I play Leyline and just resolve to get hit by Phoenix here and hope we draw either an answer, which we only have 3 left in our deck right now, or sorry, 5 left, or sorry, 8, or Thoughtseize the Arc Light and hope they can't quite bring it back this turn, and then we can deploy Leyline next turn. It's kind of a tough call. I think we just Thoughtseize away the stupid Phoenix, though. But if they draw a mountain here, they could bring back Phoenix and hit us for 6 total, which feels kind of bad. They're just passing the turn. I'm very happy with that exchange. I'd really like to draw a threat here. So now they can't flame jab it back. However, if they draw another spell, I guess they could bring it back here. Yeah, that might have been worth a gen, you're right. Instead, they draw Bedlam Reveler. Which cards? The Bloodstained Mire that we can't use, the Mishra's Ball we can't use, the Thought Scour that's kind of pointless, the Leyline that we can't get back, or the Death Shadow we can't get back? Sure. And of course, the next two draw steps were answers. I understand what you're saying in theory, Jan, but there's one Kolaghan's Command in the sideboard. I'm not a huge fan of the card in the deck, because it is rather mana intensive for a deck that runs mostly on thin margins. And often the matchups you want Kolaghan's Command in, your opponent's bringing in Graveyard Hate anyway, so it's a lot less effective. Usually I found Liliana is much better at what you want Kolaghan's Command to do. I don't like it in the main. It's not... I mean, it's an okay card, but there's a reason a lot of the decks of the Freeman-esque build have gone away from it. I think this hand's reasonable. Two, three. I think we're in for one of these. I don't know if we want both here. Maybe we're just supposed to hold both discard spells. A lot of it depends on what our opponent's up to here. Like, if our opponent's on, like, some type of aggro deck, we're gonna hate having 2 discard spells and no kill spells. However, if our opponent's a Serum Visions deck, we probably want both discard spells. Alright, so Grixis control? No, we'll take Snapcaster next turn. Seriously, Magic Online? Okay, and I care about 2-1 why? Jan, if the only thing I'm dying to is a Snapcaster Mage, obviously something went horrible in the matchup. Yeah, we'll probably seize next turn. Like, if they drew a removal spell this turn, good on them. But next turn we can go Thoughtseize, Snap, Thoughtseize if we have to. Yeah. To be fair, I've normally been up for like 5 or 6 hours by this point most days, so. Of course, if they hit... Oh, they're just going to Snapcaster Serum Visions? Yeah, that's fine. No, I happen to like Bolt, Snap, Bolt, but... I think I'm definitely missing a third Lightning Bolt in this build, though. Been a lot of situations where we would have loved to have drawn one card on top, one card on bottom. It's kind of scary a little bit. Team or Battle Rage, huh? Start by casting Thoughtseize. See what they got going on over there. We know we at least want to... Alright, there's a Lightning Bolt. So... Probably... We'll take the Cryptic Command for now. I don't think it's a kill spell. Judging by the fact that our opponent left their Snapcaster Mage in play, either it's a Snapcaster Mage or it's a Lightning Bolt. Because I think our opponent's going to try to raise us. Guess we'll find out. Could be Cryptic Command. Nope. Serum Visions. Wow. I don't know that I'd leave a Serum Visions on top right now. One card on top, one card on bottom. Actually, Jan, the way you kind of got to think of it is, it's not that we saved 2 damage, it's the fact that we saved a combination of, if they had a Snapcaster on top, they could have snap bolted our, whatchamacallit here? That scream. Okay, didn't have a removal spell. I'm kind of surprised there. Alright. They left a card on top, so that's kind of scary. Okay. Serum Visions? No, the card was Snapcaster Mage. I think we go ahead and run out of Snapcaster Mage here. Just in case their card's like a cast down or something. Fatal Push? Or Dismember? Terminate. That's unfortunate. This is Kolagun's command. We're in a whole lot of trouble. Yep. So they'll force them to play their Snapcaster Mage. Or not. Still don't think we're in a great spot this game. Our opponent shouldn't have fetched there. So the reason our opponent should not have fetched there was the fact that they'd already bottomed so many cards with Serum Visions. Actually, the opponent had to push there in case our last card was Lightning Bolt. So, opponent's hand was kind of forced. They saw me discard Teamer Battle Rage, so they're probably figuring it was some card that would kill them. So, like, I discarded a Death Shadow and a Teamer Battle Rage. If you're my opponent, you can only put me on a certain subset of cards. That is either Lightning Bolt, a Snapcaster Mage, or another threat. So at that point, you have to kill the Snapcaster Mage. Duskbleeder comes from my World of Warcraft character, who was a probably want Leyline of the Void in this matchup, because their deck is heavily reliant on Snapcaster Mage and Kolaghan's Command. Stubborn Denial. Probably want Liliana. Probably want Pyromancers here. Not going to bring in Kolaghan's Command because they're probably bringing in their own ley lines. So... No, I have not played the older Warcrafts. Alright, so cards we don't want. We probably don't want Fatal Push? Question mark. Cut like one Gurmag Angler. We'll cut the Battle Rages for now. Cut like a Serum Visions. Stroke. Yeah, it could be alright. The problem is we're getting into the point where we have too many cards we don't... Like, Bolt's not great, but we do need some answers in case they have Pyromancers. And we can't just rely on just Dismember to kill everything. So... Try it like that. Since these games are probably going to go a little bit longer. This hand's kinda eh. I don't think we mulligan it, but it's definitely not the greatest. Anyways, this Duskblader comes from... It was supposed to be Duskblade, but the name was taken. So I just threw an R on there. Which is a... Duskblade is a D&D class. Oh. Leyline of the Void. Right on time, my friend. I've played it some. Now, there's a hand. um, Fatal Push, Illumination, Lightning Bolt, Snapcaster Mage. Oh, that's definitely why this hand was probably a mulligan. This hand's kind of trash. I think we just take Snapcaster Mage here. We really want to find one of our delve threats. Then next turn we can draw out the counter squall with Leyline in the Void, probably. Unfortunately, they're probably going to get to Illumination here. And even if I play Death Shadow, that's not going to change that equation much. So I think we go to 12 here. We just don't have an aggressive enough start this game. I'm not really sure I remember what it did either, Jan. So they're not going to Illumination here. That's interesting. Guess they're playing around Stubborn Denial. Jan, I have no idea, man. I don't get that technical with a lot of things. This is going to definitely draw out the counter squall. So we bin a Death Shadow and bring in get a polluted Delta. Alright, sure. They gonna Field of Ruin us here? Sure, doesn't really accomplish much on its own. Jace? No. Main phase Illumination's interesting. mean, I guess we resolve Death Shadow here, but I'm pretty sure this game's over. Because they're just going to push this. I mean, I could wait on a Stubborn Denial, but then... I don't know. Yep. We already know we gotta fight through the Fatal Push anyway, so... Alright, Snapcaster Mage is not bad here. I think we're going Street Wraith beatdowns. Is our opponent considering Cryptic commanding this? I don't know if we're winning the race currently, though. Opponent might be able to race us with Tar Pit and their Lightning Bolt. Nope, I guess they have something else in mind. Maybe, Jan, maybe. We even boarded out a ley line here. Yep, we don't hit a land, we die. I should have probably mulliganed to 5, but mulliganing to 5 in this matchup feels like a loss already, so... I kept a 6 with a ley line, a cantrip, and another cantrip if we hit a land. I put the angler back in for this game, because we didn't see any ley lines out of them last game. Now they have to discard a card too? Sure. Probably just be a land, but... Discarded a damnation. Oh, right. Well then. Snapcaster means nothing, Jan. Snapcaster's a 2-1. So our options are Logic Knot or Terminate. So, Logic Knot keeps us from playing our Gurmag Angler. I don't care about Engineered Explosives, Joe. No, Leal Jr. Engineered Explosives, Fatal Push, and the Terminates all answer my Death Shadow, so taking the E means nothing. Fatal Push, Terminates... So, the thought process is, how do I land a Gurmag Angler and protect it from their Terminates? So, I either have to take Logic Knot or Terminate here and hope to hit either another discard spell or a... another Stubborn Denial. So I think I take Logic Knot here and hope to bait out the Terminate for mana efficiency's sake. So I think it's take Logic Knot and play out the Death Shadow here. They'll most likely use Fatal Push on this, but they might use Terminate on one of these two and then use the Engineered Explosives for mana efficiency. No, it can't be dulled, but we're so choked on mana, it's effectively counterspell right now. Whatever it is, you know what I mean. Oh, that was definitely the plan. This forces them to burn one of the Terminates. Okay, never mind. They drew a Fatal Push. Alright, trying to keep us off of red mana. I can respect that. So their hand is Terminate, Terminate, Guess we wait one more turn to deploy Gurmag. They're on control. Yeah, the field was pretty rough. Yep. On the other hand, is engineered explosives and one unknown. If it's bolt, we're dead. Need to draw... I don't even know what we draw at this point. Dismember, I guess? Let us all take a moment of silence for the loss of our steam vents that has cost us this game. Fetch land would be useless, Jan. Fetch land would be useless. Yep, rest in peace, red sources. Alright. So we ran into the two kind of difficult portions of the format for this deck. Dedicated control decks are hard matchups, and kind of burn heavy aggro decks can be difficult. Those Arclight red decks are kind of a weird mix because they can be both grindy and aggro-y. So it's definitely a matchup that was nice to get a little bit of practice in on. Thanks, Wardog. Hope work goes well, man. Alright, so Let's Dance definitely a keep. Ho ho ho! Oh my! Oh my! Oh my! Oh my! Okay. Oh. Must have issues with X1s. They're a variant of Garoyo's Vengeance. Why aren't they playing their swamp, though? It's a little bizarre. So do I leave the Snapcaster, do I leave the Thoughtseize and bluff Stubborn Denial, or leave the Thoughtseize to snap back next turn? Because there's a decent chance this Gurmag Angler actually dies to like a Terminate or something here. Or they're just going to Dark Blast at the end of turn. I guess they could Dark Blast plus Soul Spike it, which would kind of suck. Soul Spike. Yeah, they're definitely, or Lava Axe. Seems to be a lot of things we would, Stubborn Denial here. Blood Crypt. So at least lets them put us... Sure. But it would also kill our threat and slow our clock down. Now these Dark Blasts are going to buy them an extra 2 turns, which is kind of obnoxious. And if they have a Garoyo's Vengeance here, the game's over. Well, that was fun. because I'd rather save the Thoughtseize to be able to take something that I care about later on. The only card we truly care about in their deck right now is Through the Breach. Jan, if they don't have anything under forecasting cost, their hand's complete trash. Please, what did you... Seriously? Alright, sure. They pitch anyway. Pitched a Tormenting Voice. So that's still their hand? Pretty sad we have to Thoughtseize their stupid Simian Spirit Guide. Could, but it's not really worth it right now. Did you seriously draw another Lightning Axe? This is such a fun game. Yep, all my kill spells are in the sideboard right now. So Snapcaster is gain some life. So they can't quite kill us this turn. Is that lethal? It might be. Let's go ahead and Thought Seize them first. Make sure they don't have a Through the Breach plus Simian Spirit Guide. Guess that wouldn't make sense. They would be. This game is a very weird balancing act. I'll be right back. 1 second. Alright, we're back. Do we want to change anything with sideboarding? Some consideration for bolts, but Black-Red doesn't have too many ways of fighting out of I think we keep this hand, but it is risky not having a ley line. Turn 1 Brutality? Oh, okay. What you got over there, friend? Wow. So we take Faithless Looting? Hope they don't draw a big, dumb, scary idiot over the next turn or two. Come on, deck, be nice to us. Give us a Stubborn Denial. Give us another discard spell. Alright, so their hand is pretty trash. Death Shadow is decent. Line of the Void, not going to do much in this game. Really need more disruption, but yeah, if they draw an idiot, they draw an idiot. We'll know real quick. They're paying mana, that's not a good sign. Okay, this is just flash, but nope. Alright. That is an excellent draw. Feels like they drew a monster, a monster, a monster. Alright, just flashing back Faithless Looting, sure. Obviously, if they pitch a Gristlebrand, we're in a little bit of trouble here. Emrakul, sure. Trigger. Bye, friend. Playing against any version of Garroyos is always a scary thing. So how's everyone doing this morning? Just a friendly reminder, if you're new to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button. If you like what you're seeing in this video, please hit that like button to help this channel continue to grow. So far, we've lost to Arclight Red and Grixis Control, and we beat, what did we even play in the first round? Oh, Teamer Scape Shift, or 4-color. Maybe, Jan. Depends on if we win this match. This hand's okay. As a first... Alright, well, the hand was okay anyway. This is where we're going to pretty seriously regret not having Anger of the Gods in our sideboard. Shriekhorn. Oh, jeez. Alright. So, we're severely going to miss Anger of the Gods in this matchup. It can be alright if we have a ley line. Stubborn Denial's okay in this matchup, not great. The cards are pretty terrible here. Yeah, push is pretty bad. We still want some number of ways to push through. Actually, I think I'd rather... Yeah, we'll probably go like that then, no. To be fair, our opponent had above average draw for them, so got a ley line. We got a couple of threats. We obviously have to keep. See if our opponent has like a Nature's Claim or something in their opening hand. Looks like the answer to that's no. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5. Guess we could draw like a Thoughtseize or something here. Yeah, this is where we're having like a 1 of Tassiger would be nice. But I still think we're in okay shape here. I mean, if they have Assassin's Trophy to get going, that's fine, I guess. Feels like they might have Assassin's Trophy, and they're debating when's the best time to time it to get around Stubborn Denial. It's the only thing I think they can either be trying to bluff or actually have here. Because if they would have had Nature's Claim, they probably just would have played Nature's Claim on 1 when we were tapped out. And obviously if they have like Assassin's Trophy or Abrupt Decay into Cathartic, this could be pretty brutal. Like they could dump a whole bunch of crap and go off within a 1-turn cycle. That'd probably be like the worst case scenario here. Should have gotten a black source there. That way we could play this, but this will at least force them to respect Stubborn Denial. Looks like they don't even have Assassin's Trophy here. Does this just play Stinkweed Imp on defense? Nope, it looks like Cathartic pitching a bunch of crap. Sure. Alright, so our opponent's going to be a lot more careful about Graveyard Hate this game. So Leyline may not be an auto one. Excuse me. So, yeah, and I don't think we're favored in this round. Yeah, we have 4 ley lines, but I still would love to have Anger of the Gods on my sideboard here. Um, they have more than four nature's claims. Most of these are running like 6 anti-hate cards. So 3 nature's claim, 1 assassin's trophy. 3 nature's claim, 2 assassin's trophy. So I still think 2 stubborn denial are okay. I don't think we want to go much higher than that. Honestly, I think I like 2 faithless looting. I think any more than that's kind of goofy. I think we'll get into the changes I would make to this list after this league. Doesn't have Leyline. Can we keep it? I think we got to go to 6. Oh, we still have both faithless lootings in the deck right now. Guess we keep this hand and pray. Sure. So they might have kept their own hand on the basis of that ley line. Guess we'll find out. Yeah, their deck's got to be somewhat diluted here. Possibly. But let's be honest. Leyline is pretty effective against us. So, is it Peasy or Death Shadow here? So we're taking the Nature's Claim. Wow, their hand is really trash right now. The only reason I cast Thoughtseize is I knew we could get away with it there. So now we just try to get them dead before they can draw anything. Uh-oh. Now they can start casting Amalgams, which is mildly annoying. Hoping to play double amalgam here, I guess. Uh-oh, got a faithless looting. No whammies, no whammies, no whammies. Yeah, that's sort of a whammy. Whammies, whammy, whammy. Do we even care about Liliana taking a hit here? Is that lethal? Yeah, that's lethal, isn't it? Yeah, we just win. So... Just... Just double checking the math. Anywho, there's other things I would have. I don't think that was actually. Jan, it doesn't matter. He's salty because he lost a matchup that's probably decent for them. It's really nice to just get sarcastic and like be a-hole-ish, and believe me, that was my first inclination, was to be an a-hole, but I'm just like, just doing the math, double checking, you know. And sometimes it doesn't hurt to be careful with the math, make sure, you know, you're not missing anything here. So I appreciate my opponent's candor, but we did mulligan to 5, they had leyline, and they still lost, so So, anywho. Alright, so let's start with the main deck. The Tassiger Gurmag Angler splits, I'm not sure on. I'm kind of leaning towards 3-1, but I can see the appeal of the 4 of. I think I'm gonna try this version, somewhat again, but I think I'm going to cut a Serum Visions for another Lightning Bolt. I do want 5 points of early interaction, and 7 if you include Dismember. I just feel better having a 3rd copy of Lightning Bolt in my deck. I think 3 Thought Scour, 2 Faithless Looting, 2 Serum Visions, and the Baubles in the race all seem fine. We'll test that out a little bit further. Sideboard. This Kolaghan's Command can go. I'm just not a fan. The matchups we want the ability to grind in, most of our opponents are bringing in ley lines or rest in pieces anyway. So I'm not a huge fan of the grinding plan. At least not in that regard. I think the considerations are Stroke, K-Command, Grim Lavamancer, second copy of a Braid, so I think at the moment I'm inclined to... I like Dreadbore in theory, but I don't know how often we're going to get into situations where I truly want it, that we're not already really far behind. I think for right now, maybe trying out a second copy of a Braid and then having 2 Angers and like a Disdainful Stroke or a Dreadbore. So not that far off from what we'd already been testing. I guess I like the 2 copies of Liliana. I don't know. Maybe it's just like supposed to be like 1 Liliana, 1 Grim Lavamancer, and then a couple of Anger of the Gods. There's just so many situations where I want Anger of the Gods, so... I don't know. Anywho, just a friendly reminder, as we close out this particular stream, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. I appreciate the support. We're trying to grow the channel here. If you like what you're seeing, please hit that thumbs up button. If you happen to see anything that, maybe play lines I mistook, or sequencing mistakes I made, or things I did well, please feel free to leave that in the comments. I'm always looking to grow as a player, so getting feedback from people that are more experienced with the deck is good. Please make it constructive comments. Like, Staticaster could certainly be worth testing a slot. Yeah, I could see running like 1 Staticaster. But I certainly prefer Anger of the Gods, especially because of Dredge. Like, I don't normally metagame per se, but the decks I expect to see a lot of. I expect to see a lot of humans, a lot of control, a lot of Dredge. I might play a little bit of Standard Jan, but for the next like six-ish days, I really gotta focus on Modern. We went on that side venture with Space Marines Blue Eye Control List. We went on, playing a little bit with the Direfleet Daredevil version of Burn, but the tournament's in a week. I mean, I can't really like spend too much time fooling around with Standard and stuff right now. So this is kind of an important tournament, unfortunately. So it'll be mainly Modern. But anywho, yeah, tournament's coming up it's next Saturday. So I have to take a day off work. I have to pay like 40 or 50 bucks to enter, even though I'm qualified. All kinds of dumb stuff. So it's really kind of a big deal to do well at this tournament, or at least be as prepared to do well as I can, and then the variance will happen, and whatever happens, happens. So, but alright, everybody, thanks for tuning in this morning. I'll probably be back later at some point, either testing some more Shadow today, or some Burn, one or the other. But I'm going to go take a break for now, and do some stuff around here. So, thanks everyone for tuning in. It's been a great pleasure. I hope to see everybody again soon. Noah, Noleel, Janshevik, everybody else has been hanging out. Thanks for hanging out, and hope everybody has a great day.